So I just wanted to do a short review on the 2017 Dodge Ram half-ton. If somebody is interested in buying one, you go online and look at the reviews. You know, and basically, of course, everyone just looks at, you know, what don't they like. And what I saw that people didn't like, or these professional reviewers, I just thought it was ridiculous. Let's see, one of the things they say is that the locks are too loud. If the locks were dead silent and you hit the lock and you couldn't hear anything, you'd wonder if it was locked or not. Did I hit the button? Did I not hit the button? You'd have to walk up every single time, grab the handle. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess they just have to find something. They can't just say, oh, this thing's great. But it's like, okay, here we go. That's it. They don't like the locks. It's just like, saw that was pretty silly. But anyways, so what else didn't people like? Fuel economy. I think this thing's got like a 30 or 35 gallon tank. This thing gets great freaking fuel economy. I mean, if you want something that gets, you know, the 30-40, you got to get a Prius or like a little 4-cylinder, something like that. Like, who buys a full-size 4-door truck and then whines about the fuel economy? It's not that bad, though. I'm gonna go really far on this tank. I love it. I mean, this is the family wagon. You fill this thing up and you can go all day. It doesn't I don't pay attention to the fuel economy because it gets great fuel economy. It doesn't bother me at all. So I also called BS on that one. I mean, the old vehicles, big blocks and old gas motors, it was like 8-10 miles to the gallon. I mean, I'm sure this one's not quite getting 20 or anything, but it's pretty darn good. So I don't get that. Like I said, buy a little car. I don't see the point. If you can't do it, then don't buy it. So then the other thing is they said it was loud. Like, you could hear the engine. It was loud at like any speed or stop and go, stuff like that. Again, unless you put an exhaust on this thing, I mean, I don't hear anything. I never hear it unless you floor it. And I don't know anyone that drives these things dead silent. I mean, people listen to music, people are talking. I mean, who's sitting in the car, you know, or truck, just dead silent going down the road and like, I didn't like the sound of the motor. It's like, well, get an electric car. I mean, but like I said, I don't hear it anyway. It's not loud. It's not loud at all. So my truck is just total base model, like tradesman, you know. Yeah, I guess we should look at this freaking rotary thing. It's goofy, you know, changing the gears like that. Even the start, you just like touch it and then it starts. So I got the door open, so the exhaust is going to be way louder, but I mean, I don't hear anything. I hear the fan for the you know, for the AC. I hear that. I can't hear the engine at all. It's quiet. Like I said, the only time I hear it is like if I put the pedal down, then I'll hear it. But that's it. So I don't see that being an issue. So what else on this truck is cool is the rear. This is why I bought it. It doesn't have leaf springs. It's like 5 control arms and coils, so it drives like a car. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I got my 1-ton Ford, and it's on leafs, of course, and man, that thing drives like a tank. It is uncomfortable, but this thing, oh man, it's awesome. It is so smooth, and it's kind of low to the ground, but it's easy to get in and out of, and it's just super comfortable. If you want something that's all jacked up and everything like that, like, I wouldn't do it on a half-ton. Like, you know, that's why I got my Ford over here. I mean, that thing, tough as nails, rigid. I mean, it's the work beast. This little half ton, I mean, you can do some work, but I don't know. It just, to me, it's just comfortable. I like it. Super comfortable. And it's got the 8-speed, the 5.7, so even though it's just the tradesman and all that, it still has some of the better stuff. Let's see. It comes with a little little tow package, and it's got you got two choices, which is kind of cool because it's a lot of this, every once in a while you get something with a 4-prong, or it's or it's got that one, so you got options there built in, so that's kind of cool. Tailgate locks. One of the reviews I read said the ones that have like the automatic like opening tailgate and stuff, there were recalls where it would just open on its own. Well, I don't have that option, so I ain't gotta worry about that. So that's kind of cool. Sometimes having more options when it comes to the old Dodge Chrysler, it's better to have less options, because the more stuff you get on there, the more stuff breaks. And in my opinion, when they start trying to do all their electronics, they just screw it up. They're not good at it. Sorry to say. I've owned quite a few Dodges and some with the Cummins diesel, stuff like that, and they suck at electronics. It's all fixable, but yeah, less you have, the better. So I had to winterize mine, which just means it's trickle charger, block heater, what else? Heating pad on the transmission, heating pad on the oil pan for the engine, and then I got them all wired in together, and then I just got a little plug here, so when it's 30 below, whatever, just plug it in, let it do its thing. So what I have noticed is well, my AC don't work. When I got it, it worked. It does not work. I actually do refrigeration for a living, so naturally I didn't want to pay some chucklehead to work on it, so I tried to at least figure it out. And what I figured out was, so there's a little clutch on the compressor down there. When you push the AC button, the clutch should grab, and then it spins the compressor, it does its thing. Well, it's not spinning, so there's a low pressure lockout on it, so I went ahead and jumpered that. You don't want to run it like that for very long because it's locked out. It's for a reason. So anyways, but yeah, as soon as I bypassed that, it grabbed the clutch, so it's like, okay, so obviously it's got low pressure on the suction, so that means there's a leak somewhere. And this thing's got this weird refrigerant. I do have automotive gauges, but this R1234YF actually has slightly larger surface ports, and yeah, you gotta buy that one. There's only one. You gotta buy it. So they kind of got you on that one, but I'll buy it, I guess. And try and fix it and find the leak and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, you wouldn't think you'd need it in Fairbanks, but I think it's like 80 or 90 in the summer, and it would be nice to have AC. But I'll probably just suffer through it and then fix it later. I've got other stuff to do. So let's see. The only other thing is it's kind of weird. I mean, it's like, geez, they got that motor way back up in there, and there's just so much room between the front of the motor and your bumper. Just unclaimed space. And I don't really understand why. I don't get it. Like, why is the nose so long and the engine kicked back so far? I don't think they're using the half-ton frame for the diesels, so it's like, it's not like they got the extra room so that they could have the option of an inline 6. But I don't know. So that's one thing that's kind of weird. And then on this one, I don't know about the other ones, but it's got their little skirt and everything. Well, there's no tow hooks whatsoever. I got this thing stuck in the snow, and there's no tow hooks. There's no way to like pull it. I think that those, little plugs there, whatever, I think that's where they would be. But like I said, I don't have them. And that sucks, It's like freaking trying to pull this thing out. So there's definitely some weirdness under here too. It's like the frame, like you would think, oh, it ends right there because there's nothing else. It's not support. Well, okay, never mind. There's that, but that's just the bottom of the radiator. I don't think you need a whole freaking frame rail for that. And then, I understand they extend the frame all the way out to the bumper. And then they got these weird things right there where, again, yeah, you could jack it up there, if you wanted to. But you can also jack it up on this cross member there. So that's some of the stuff where I'm looking at it and I'm just like, what is this? Like, what's the intended purpose of this stupid thing? And of course they put the oil filter somewhere freaking stupid, so when you take the oil filter off, it just dumps all over everything. So, it's got like wet spots around the steering, but I don't know. You can see that's where that hole is and stuff. So I'm pretty sure you can easily put a tow hook there. There's stuff you can do. You can take the skirt off. You can see where it, it joins right there. You don't have to have the skirt. So if like that was bugging you, because it, it does catch on things. It's barely curb height. So, if you didn't like it, you take it off. But yeah, so really, like I said, I like this truck. Just as it sits, I like it. There's nothing fancy about it. It's pretty fast. It's almost 400 horse. Yeah, it just rides so nice. It accelerates nice. It stops nice. The steering is super tight. Suspension's great. It's just comfortable. It's just, for what it is, I really like it. When I go and I'm gonna just punish something, I use my 1-ton diesel. This thing can pull a trailer great. It's 4-wheel drive. All that stuff works fine. I'm pretty happy with it, and I can't really fault the whole AC on them. A rock may have punctured it. It's hard to say. I don't know where it's leaking from. It might even be the condenser may be leaking. I kind of got a bad feeling it's the condenser. The AC lines are here and here. But then there's a bunch of other lines going in and out of it, which I assume it's also cooling the transmission or cooling the oil. Something like that, which sucks, because if this thing's bad, then that means I got to take all that stuff off and replace the whole thing just for the AC, because they did a freaking like 3-in-1. So that's kind of shitty, but what are you gonna do? I'm not sure what else there is like really worth noting on this thing. It just, like I said, so far so good, for what it is. It's a half ton. I feel like people don't know what half tons are for. You're not gonna pull a ton of weight. They'll pull decent. Obviously not gonna put that much in the bed. You can put airbags on it and stuff, but it's just not really what it's for. But just like a great all-around truck, and I just can't stress enough, it's comfortable. The way they did the suspension, this sucker is comfortable, and I love it for long trips because it's got a big tank and it gets pretty darn good gas mileage, especially when you're just like out on the highway. Obviously you're in the city, gas mileage goes down, no shocker there. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I can't really speak to like the Laramies and the Longhorns, the high level trim packages. If you read the reviews, they get worse reviews because there's just so many gadgets and different things. And like I said, when it comes to Chrysler, man, they just shouldn't. I don't know if they just try and cram it through quick, or the engineers suck, maybe a little bit of everything. But it's like, I just see so many of them that die due to you know, to like electrical gremlins. You know, it's not like it's mechanical. It's not like the motors themselves are bad. It's just the, you know, the 3,000 sensors that are attached to it don't work right in conjunction, and then one goes out and it, you know, it just wreaks havoc. So anyways, I think I've rambled on enough. The only other thing, you know, since you get the tradesman, you get just the generic grill. So I got this one. It was pretty cheap, and then I got the different headlights because the stock ones suck, and I hate fake chrome and everything, so I got rid of that. I'd do a bunch more stuff to it, but the missus already saw that and was like, "Oh, what's wrong with your truck? How come you're buying parts?" And it's like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with it." And she's like, "All right, stop buying parts." It's like, "All right, fine." She makes a good case. I've got too many vehicles, and I try to customize each one, and I'm spending all my money, and it doesn't raise the value, so I have to stop with my grill. I'd love to do bumpers and stuff, and you know, make it just look a little more custom, and you know, with all the moose and stuff up here, bumpers are good, but we'll see. Anyways, hope that helps.